be asking yourself why I decided to put myself through this mental situation. Why did I spend over 1,000 in-game days on this project, as well as over 200 hours, 23 streams, and even almost 50,000 blocks means so much to me? Well, to answer this, we need to take it back to when we first came up with this idea. An idea that would turn out to be one of the worst ideas we've ever had. It was around day 850, and Ryder came up with this idea to build a mega base that would spark up the server a bit since it started to get pretty boring, and people were getting bored and losing motivation to do stuff on the server. And to be honest, at the time, there wasn't really anything interesting happening, and it still looked pretty empty. So me and Ryder decided to go into a copy of the server in sight of areas for potential spots for a mega base. And strangely enough, almost 3,000 blocks away from spawn was an area that was fully surrounded by a calcite mountain, had a full lush cave that led to deep slate, a whole jungle inside of it, and a perfect aesthetic for a kingdom to fit inside of it. After we found an area, I decided to start getting to work by inviting Braden and Ryder to come help tear down one area of the jungle trees to make it easier to terraform the area to build the kingdom as well as everything else I wanted to do with it. This process took about an hour or so, which wasn't as long as I initially thought it would take, but my god, we had so much wood, we would never have to collect any wood again. And it's funny too because majority of the wood was still around at the end of the server's time. After we took down all the trees, I had to flatten out the area and terraform some stuff so that the space was big enough to fit a castle, as well as a whole town or kingdom, or whatever the hell you want to call it. The worst part about all of this is that this would take around 2 streams to do, as well as over 5 hours of work. By the way, just to remind you, this entire project took around 200 hours of my life. Just think about that for a minute. This would only make up about 2% of the entire time span of this project. After we got the area flattened out, before I decided to start working on the castle since I didn't have the blocks, I used the wood that we collected from the forest and chose to make a bridge that extended about 100 blocks out to add some pizzazz to the mega build. But the thing is, this one sliver of the mega build took 3 streams alone. This project was no joke at all. Now, I mean, it makes sense considering this was a one-man job. It was just me, but still, I feel like it shouldn't have taken that long. I really don't think it should have taken that long. Anyways, after the bridge was built, I was ready to start building an outline before doing probably one of the worst part of this project. You see, I wanted the outline of the first story to be 50 by 50 by 50. That would only cost me about 10,000 blocks just for the first floor of walls to be built. The worst part about this, which is my fault, I decided I wanted the castle to be like halfway inside the mountain. The thing was, I would have to mine out the whole mountainside just to continue building this thing. And let me tell you, this took over 5 hours to do. The most annoying part was no one offered to help me do this. I was surprised my pickaxe was able to survive the entire thing, considering I mined at least 100,000 blocks out of this calcite mountain. I was so determined to mine this mountain now that I streamed for 7 hours straight, which I did 5 of those hours just mining. The other 2 was like repairing pickaxe and everything, as well as arguing with Carson about stuff I talked about in the first episode of this. But it still felt like an eternity at the time. Not only did it feel like an eternity, but it also got really boring. The only thing keeping me motivated was staying on call with everyone else. It even got so bad that I didn't want to work on anything unless someone else was on. The boredom hit me quickly, but the only thing I kept in mind was, this will all be worth it one day. After I mined out the mountainside, I was ready to finally start the first bulk of the project, building the walls. Now, this part of the project wasn't too bad since the first story of walls only took about an hour or so, not including the block collecting for it. Which is another thing too with this project, because I'm dumb and didn't place spruce trees at the mega base, so every time I needed specifically spruce, I had to fly all the way back in the nether, break down some trees, make sure my inventory is basically maxed out with planks, then fly back, before repeating this process over and over and over again. Once the walls were built, I thought it would look really cool to add spruce support beams across the first story to hopefully add a bit of spice to it. It didn't look like the greatest at first, since there wasn't a ceiling for the first story, but soon it would look a lot better than it did at the moment. I mean, even when I did the first layer of support beams, it still looked really cool, especially without a roof over it. Wait. Hold on. You just said like 10 seconds ago it didn't look good. But now you're saying it does? I'm so confused. And no, I hate watching this guy sometimes. But then I decided to do the exact thing, but one more level up, and it almost felt four-dimensional with how it looked. At the time, and even to this day, it's still crazy how much I cooked with this design. However, something happened the next day that almost made me want to stop the project permanently. It was day 1272 on the server, and Colton had just joined the call that me, Bo, and Devin were in. At first, it seemed like he was just joining to hang out and play Minecraft, but boy was I wrong about this. So I was up by the creeper farm just trying to get some gunpowder because of my rocket poverty I had at the time. And Colton started ranting about how I was being selfish and wasting everyone's resources. I found it really weird at the time because all I had been using was stone, wood, and iron. We had an iron farm that produced iron at an insane rate. Just sitting there for 30 minutes can grant up to 3 stacks of iron. I do understand a little bit when they first built the iron farm. I did take all the iron for the mega base, but I even asked everyone there if they were okay with it, and everyone there said it was okay. Apparently, it wasn't because Colton and Ryder wouldn't stop talking about it. I mean, at one point, I took like 4 out of the 12 stacks of iron there for emeralds because people kept dying and losing all their stuff. And I'm the kind of person where I will sacrifice my time to help them get built back up. But apparently, Colton didn't care. Sorry, back to the resources thing. With stone, I just got all my stone from digging into a small area of the mountain or from terraforming. So I don't see what the issue there was. And finally, the wood. One of the most renewable sources in the world. You place saplings, let the tree grow, chop the wood, repeat the process. That's it. The only reasonable claim he had was the iron. But even then, it still felt like he was making up reasons to rant at me and to start saying a bunch of random shit. I believed at the time that everyone was just lazy to go AFK the farm because they were all working on their own things as well as me. That's what made this argument feel absolutely absurd. I mean, at this point in the server, everyone had enough tools and resources to go out and do their own thing, whether it be working on a state, benefiting yourself or others, or literally anything else. But when I decided to go do my own thing, everyone has a problem with it. I do understand that it was almost 3,000 blocks away from spawn, but I had nether transportation, and later on in the server, I would add a railway system that directly takes you to the mega base and the nether, from spawn. But people on the server were just too lazy to take like 2 minutes to either ride there or fly there in the nether. The worst part about this whole argument is I was already having a bad day that day, and I didn't really want to put up with this bullshit over a Minecraft server. The one thing that made me question everything the most was that Colton said,
Till
if you can't find a use for the mega
I
base,
will say
it's useless. Which is just fucking stupid because it's a Minecraft server. Not everything we build has to have a use. And of course, because he was president during this period, everyone agreed with him and left me on my own. The thing about what Colton said is that nobody offered to help me except for Carson for almost 1,000 in-game days. Even at times when no one was doing anything, they all refused to help me even when I was going mentally insane over the stuff I was doing. I mean, because my day was at my lowest point, I was about ready to just burn down the mega base and forget about it entirely. Looking back on it now, I probably should have done it. If people were going to sit there and watch me suffer and refuse to help me and throw shade, then what was the point? Even after I finished the mega base, no one really cared. When we finished it, the only reason was to get it over with and just get it done. Ever since I started the mega base, nobody really supported it at all. They all claimed they did, but the minute I said or asked, then why won't you help me, they either made up an excuse, said they had their own thing to do, or didn't respond to me at all. And yes, I know I've been ranting about this for a while, but it's serious stuff I had to address at the time. Because I've had to deal with this stuff for basically my entire life. And I still see it from people, especially my friends to this day. Most of the time, they say what they say as jokes, but it's already at the point where I don't believe that. I even got confirmation that every time I join a call, drama or some type of shit stirs up for no liable reason. That was really the whole reason why I wanted to give up. I kept asking myself, why am I spending time on this if no one cares? What's the point if all everyone's going to do is complain? Why am I doing this? And to that I say, I wanted to prove everybody wrong. The next dream after the conflict and somehow wanting to continue this project, I decided to add some decoration to the mega base by adding actual pillars on the outside of the build to make it look like an actual castle. But at the moment, it was just a stone brick shitbox. I'm gonna say that 5 times in a row. Jesus Christ. This took me about 2.5 streams and over 5 hours just to do because of the sheer amount of detail I wanted to put into them. In the end, they didn't turn out terribly. It could have been a lot better, but I had more important things to attend to, such as the rest of the kingdom. My main idea for the kingdom was to make the houses look super old, almost like this entire project takes place back in like the 1800s. That's why I made everything out of stone and wood. I also wanted it to seem like we restored it after it was abandoned long ago. All the little houses I built consisted of jungle plank floors, stone brick walls, small staircases outside to access the second story, and spruce ceilings. I never added anything inside the houses, mainly because A, I forgot to, and B, it ties in with the fact that it was abandoned, so there wouldn't be much inside anyways. Oh, I forgot to mention, before I built the houses, I made little pathways that would take you through the whole kingdom area as well as lead you to the castle. I thought the idea of moss carpet, path blocks, and coarse dirt would give the pathways some sort of a good look. And it didn't turn out too bad, actually. However, there was one problem that I didn't think about. Creepers. These mobs gave me the worst time ever with this build. I cannot tell you the number of times I had to repair holes in the ground, or fix houses, or fix pathways, or like this other stuff. And it was probably one of the most annoying parts of the project, aside from the fact that everyone stood back and watched this happen. So, here's a short montage of creeper moments during this project.
Uh-oh. Wait, no! Whoa, wait. What the fuck?
Aiden, I'll be your human shield. Teleport me to you. I'll be your human shield.
No, a creeper blew up our fucking double chest.
Oh shit.
You have 20 billion.
What the fuck?
I think the last
Okay.
person here kind of forgot to fill in the holes for the creepers. I mean, hey, at least it prevents the penguins from getting in. Oh.
Why'd you bring that out more? Oh shit! You serious right now, bro? I hate mobs. Don't drop on me, don't drop on me. Motherfuck! Okay, thankfully it was in water. Sorry. I legit, like, fucking... I saw a creeper and I just was like, don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up. And it fell down on top of me and blew up, but I was in water.
Closer to my microphone now, so hopefully they should be able to hear me. But
God damn it.
we'd organize it by like the hundreds, hundreds of days, and then hell, we could order it by hundreds of days, and then figure everything out there. I'll write the narration of it while you
Oh,
guys
Bo's
like
dead.
write like the whole like story or whatever.
Bo died.
Me when I saw Ryu hold the hammer with one hand and posing like a queen. Me bangs on the table. Excuse me? Me, how do you hold that with one hand, Ryu? Me when Ryu was the camera was on. Neo, the camera was on.
There were way more creeper explosions than this, but there's hours and hours of footage I'd have to scroll through, and personally, I don't want to do that right now, so that's all I got for the time being. I mean, it's safe to say that creepers really hate me sometimes, or maybe I'm just bad at the game, I don't know. But aside from that, this part of the mega build was actually really enjoyable. Sure, it felt like a repetitive cycle of building the same type of houses for hours on end, but I think it was just the atmosphere and aesthetics that tied together during this project. After I finished the houses and everything, I just spam placed trees and let them grow. And my lord, the entire place went from looking like a deserted wasteland to a perfect landscape with forests encasing the kingdom's houses to traverse through. It also made for a great place to play tag because of all the parkour possibilities and the eeriness of running under the trees, especially during the night. Once I got all the trees placed down, the outside part of the mega base was 100% complete, and the progress on the actual project, it's weird to say, was up to 65% done. We were slowly inching closer towards finishing the project, but I am here to introduce you to the biggest mind block of this whole project: working with villagers. You know, those little, how do I say this nicely? Those little shits that always like to make you go mentally insane because they can't give you the right enchantments because they're so freaking stupid. But you see, when I made the blueprints for this project, I wanted to have a built-in trading hall on the second story of the mega base, and the no balcony. Wait, what? And no, the balcony that I built is not the second story. At this point in the project, I was really starting to feel the boredom and anger revolving this project because it was a one-man job at the time. Just working with these villagers took almost 20 hours of my life. Yes, I counted all of the hours. Do you understand how mentally draining that can be? Just sitting there running back and forth, giving villagers food, waiting, repeating it, and having to run back and forth trying to do workbenches because villagers are the most stubborn things alive. Like legit, I started to go crazy because of this. But this wasn't even the worst part of it all. I'll wait a little bit longer before I mention it. But during this time, I was surprised because Ryder was the president then, and he escorted Bo, Devin, and AJ to come help me at the mega base with stuff. But the only one who really did anything was Bo. Devin was too busy on his state, and AJ was just AJ. He helped for like 5 minutes, then dipped. Mainly just because he said he was tired, which I can kind of understand because he actually has a job. Bo, however, stayed and actively tried to help, but he was also getting really bored and decided to go back to his state and work on it some more. While I don't blame them for this, they still could have made an effort or taken a couple hours out of their day to help me, but they still refused to do so. I accepted the fact that nobody was willing to do anything about this project, besides Ryder mainly. But thankfully, after I finished working on the villagers after 5 streams, I decided to do the simplest yet worst part of this project, or the worst idea of this project: building a basement. Yep, you heard me right, a basement. Now, you may be asking, Aiden, how was a basement that bad of a decision? And to that I say, I was even more mind-blocked than that when I was with the villagers. I had already spent a total of 100 hours on this godforsaken project, so it was safe to say I was losing my mind a little bit. But you see, for most of the basement, I wanted it to seem like an addition after we restored the kingdom, like an add-on to the castle since the castle looked old and outdated. Why not have a modern basement with quartz, blackstone, and lava? Now granted, it was fun building the basement, but when I tried making a farm down there, I realized the hard way that tilled dirt doesn't really fertilize the best without sunlight or just light in general. So here's what some of those clips looked like.
I hate this, 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 I hate this. My gosh, this is getting too fucking annoying. Boom. I hate this game. Hate this game and I love this game. Hate this game and I love this game. Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. I hate these farms. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate doing this. I hate doing this. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Ah.
No, it's in my basement of all my good stuff. Alright, one tap it.
I can't even tell. This is fucking bullshit. This is bullshit. So why isn't this working? But it works down there. And I don't want to play on the server anymore. I have went to every single fucking block. It just doesn't want to fucking work. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done fucking around with this thing. That's not fucking...
The same people. I've always tried to help the server and the people, but I've never gotten the same back.
Oh, really? You never asked.
No, he does. I can confirm that he asked. I think it's more of the fact that just most people aren't interested in what he's doing.
What?
Yeah.
I'm talking about you.
Oh.
I thought you were saying you
Oh,
don't
no,
want
I'm
that.
not saying that, no.
I was
No,
going to
I
say,
know.
I've definitely talked to you about your feelers before.
Oh, no, not like that. No, I'm talking about what Aiden's telling, like, what I'm reading off what Aiden's saying in the group chat. No, it's the exact opposite for me, or everyone loves me. But
Everybody
everybody,
loves you.
everybody.
You see, it got so bad that I was going off in the group chat because I genuinely couldn't take the disrespect everyone was giving me, and the number of times people ignored my issues that were serious. No one even addressed it until after I vented about all my problems with the people I felt like I could rely on. They eventually told me to take a break and calm myself down for the week, and I did. But this break really cleansed my soul, so I was able to really focus, lock in, and finish this project once and for all. I put the entire basement thing and threw it all away. Why? Because it was the most irrelevant part, and it was something I could come back to one day. Short story, even shorter, I never came back to it. Instead, I just worked on decorating the interior of the castle and tried to make it look as reformed as possible. For the first floor, I wanted to add carpeting that was inspired by woodland mansions, as well as making a living area with a makeshift TV, which was really just black wool with a painting on it, because, you know, Minecraft. I even made a little fire pit with regular fire and soul fire, just because why not? The final addition of the first story was little hedges surrounding all the carpeted areas, acting as a restriction or fencing, or just scenery, I guess. All in all, it didn't turn out too terribly. There was still a lot that could have been fixed, but right now, the only thing I had set in mind was finishing this project, since I only had like 5 to 10% left of it. For the balcony, I just added some rooms up there for like living spaces, but we never actually added anything to them. We just didn't have time, and it does tie into the fact that this place was abandoned, so likely there wouldn't be anything in the rooms anyways. And finally, for the second story, the villager trading hall kind of just hovered over the one thing we were actually planning, which we didn't end up finishing before the end of the server. I am very passionate about the backrooms. I love watching videos on them. I made a whole book on it, which you guys can go read. I'm in the middle of making another one right now, and all in all, I just love the fandom. Even though it's not real, I love being involved with it, and that's why I came up with the idea of building it on the second story, since we really didn't have any other plans. And plus, it would make for a great tag session one day, or hide and seek. However, because the school year was coming to an end and exams were really getting in all of our ways, we decided to end the server. So I never truly finished the mega base. We did say that once we finished the interior of it, we would consider it complete by a technicality. But that all changed. You see, as a tribute to the end of the server, we all decided to place sardines on the server as a final goodbye to the server as a whole. That was when we decided to finish the backrooms and finally say that the mega base was 100% complete. But before I end it on a happy note, I did one thing that I should have done long ago. Something that people would have enjoyed me doing.